Hey, what is up, guys? This is ChurchofCaboose, and we're doing a Destiny 2 video, specifically how to prepare for Shadowkeep.
Eyes up, Guardian.
I know I've done a couple of these, but we are a week out, and so this video is going to be way more detail specific, way more focused on the little things that you can do to better your character and your mental health and everything going into Shadowkeep, because Shadowkeep is going to be insane. But anyways, we're going to talk about like weapons to get, including mostly pinnacles, as well as Izanami's Burden, and then other things I would suggest that you do to help yourself out going into Shadowkeep. So let's kick right on into this. Pinnacle weapons first. Get the Oxygen SR3. It's a scout rifle. Scout rifles are getting a buff of 18 to 30% damage in PvE, which is very, very, very significant because now scout rifles are actually viable, and this sucker blows heads up and does increased damage with Dragonfly and all kinds of goodness, this Oxygen scout rifle, and so it's going to probably be super meta, and also it's not that hard to get. That's why it's number one on my list of these pinnacle weapons to get. Number one out of three. Again, this is my opinion. If you have a different opinion, that's alright. This is just my opinion. So here we go. How do you get the Oxygen SR3? Well, first, you gotta go to Zavala in that wonderful, beautiful tower and get the redeployment quest step from Zavala. Also, you can check your pursuits to see if you already have it. Hopefully you already have it, but if you don't, you go to Zavala and get redeployment. Then all you gotta do is finish the best offense triumph in your triumphs list. You just go to triumphs, Vanguard, and strikes, and then you'll find the best defense. All you gotta do is 1,000 precision final blows, generate 500 orbs in strikes, and then you gotta complete strikes and nightfalls. A singular strike in the strike playlist will give you 1%. A singular nightfall will give you 5%. So if you got a decent team, it might be worth just putting on like 0 modifiers, heavyweight, grenadier, something like that, and just cranking out a metric butt ton 20 nightfalls just as fast as you possibly can. Otherwise, just solo queue that sucker on into strikes. If you're working on Loaded Question, I would suggest doing the strike playlist as you're doing this. But anyways, Loaded Question's not in my list. It's just the way you can do 2 for 1. Now, I get my information from online. I'll have some links down below. But Oxygen SR3 should be very easy for you guys to get, especially with the week to go, and should pay off big time. Now let's look at the Breakneck auto rifle. This puppy is a Gambit, not Gambit Prime, but a Gambit pinnacle weapon. All you gotta do is just like any other pinnacle, you go to the Drifter, pick up the quest, and then it'll tell you gotta do 500 auto rifle kills, 100 auto rifle multi kills, and then defeat 150 challenging enemies, presumably with an auto rifle, and complete 40 games of Gambit. Now that might seem like a whole ton, but if you've been doing the Summer of Heroes or the Solstice of Heroes, whatever that summer event was called, your odds are have at least 10 of them done. Maybe even more, like 20, who knows, depends on how you completed different things. So you might not even be that far away from getting that quest done, unless unfortunately you didn't have the quest picked up, in which case you gotta start from scratch. But that's okay, we got a week, 40 matches over a week, divide 40 by 7, and it's not that much, it's just like 6-ish a day. That's all you gotta do, and you'll be fine. Auto rifles are getting a PvE buff of 25 to 30%. That's why I'm suggesting you go for this. This is why it's number 2, is because the auto rifles are getting a really significant buff, but it's a little bit more grindy and perhaps not quite as feasible. Depends on what your playstyle is and what you like to do. Now, finally, for our PvP guys out there who also do PvE, for the love of God, get the Recluse. I don't know if you're someone who's like, oh, 2100 is pretty easy for me, church. Why doesn't everyone else just do it? But I don't have it. Sobs in their soul. But or if you're like, but church, I need to have a team. I got answers for both of you. The first one, if you're saying 2100 is easy, for the love of God, just get this gun done. Because Recluse is already nuts. It is nuts, over the top nuts, and it's getting a 25% damage increase. Like, really? I don't know what genius thought that this was a fantastic idea, but I can't say I'm complaining about it too much because I love Recluse. And then if you're in the other category where you're like, 2100 points, I've been trying forever, church, I just can't get it. Will I ever be able to get it? I got news for you, friend. Billy Mays here. The competition playlist is changing. Yes, they're changing it. How you lose points is much different. It's going to be capped with ranks. So like if you're Heroic 3, you won't drop below Heroic. And then whatever last point it would change from being heroic to the next one below, you won't drop down to the next one below, you just go to heroic. So like you wouldn't lose as many points. And they're also throwing in different ways of getting glory, such as solo queue playlists, different, like just a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're not worried about it, maybe just wait until after Shadowkeep comes out and then get this as soon as you can, because Recluse is going to be very, very nasty. Ooh. My heart's pitter-pattering just thinking about it. So if you have the ability to get it before Shadowkeep, get it. For the love of God, get it. But why it's number 3 is because getting 2100 points in comp right now is almost like cancer. Now, a lot of people say that it's a toxic and cancerous playlist. But if you want to wait until after Shadowkeep and get it as soon as you can afterwards, you should be able to do it without tons and tons of headaches. Now let's look into the other weapon. I would suggest you consider finishing your Izanami's Burden. Now if you have to be past the Shattered Throne step, because unfortunately part of the quest means you have to beat the Shattered Throne. And since the Shattered Throne's not out this week, leading up to Shadowkeep, you're kind of up a creek without a paddle. Just how it is. But if you're past that Shattered Throne little spot, then feel free to finish off that weapon, because the Catalyst is insane. It brings up a lot of damage, as well as sniper rifles are getting a huge buff. It's something like 25 to 36% damage buff. Something like that is pretty great. And so it is highly anticipated by a lot of well-known YouTubers and other like down-minded people that the Izanami's Burden is going to become a very meta sniper rifle, especially because of how some super changes are coming, and I'll include those at the end. Alright, now let's move on to how to prepare besides weapons for Shadowkeep. Mods are going to be permanently unlocked, but how you get them permanently unlocked is they have to be in your inventory. So if you only have one boss spec, for example, and that boss spec is on like your Bad Omens rocket launcher, just making this up, you unfortunately will not have it permanently unlocked with the boss spec mod unless you dismantle that weapon or find a boss spec mod just to keep in your inventory. So make sure, guys, you have these different mods that you would like to have in your inventory. So maybe consider dismantling weapons or armor, and then buying stuff from the Banshee, because you can get mods from Ada 1 and from the Gunsmith, Banshee, and the Tower. And then what I would suggest is going for these mods. These are mods that I like. By the way, the mods also apply to raid mods. But for the mods I like to use that aren't really tied to raids, so they're more achievable, are a super mod, which increases the amount of super energy you generate, targeting adjusters, which makes your gun, target auto aim better. And then you got boss spec, which does more damages to bosses, particularly nifty for nightfalls and raids. Then you got surrounded spec, which for weapons that have the surrounded perk on it makes the surrounded effect last longer and a little bit stronger, as well as rampage. It's the same thing as surrounded, only the rampage spec applies to rampage. And same for dragonfly. Like I have dragonfly on my SR oxygen. And so the Dragonfly spec is the same thing, where it increases the effect of Dragonfly. So those are some mods I would suggest going for. The reason these are important, because then you get to permanently unlock them. You don't have to wait for RNG anymore, or however the mods drop with Shadowkeep comes. You don't have to wait for that, because you already have the mods unlocked. Because as long as they're in your inventory, you have them for life, or at least for Shadowkeep. Now let's go on to some powering techniques to give yourself a little bit of an advantage.
Earn your honor, Guardian.
Complete 20 bounties, folks, and just hang on until Shadowkeep drops, or complete as many as you can. I would not suggest completing the weekly clan bounties, though. That might seem a little controversial, but in the past, Bungie has made it where bounties that have powerful rewards tied to them, if you complete the bounty, you only, before the new expansion comes out, you only get the power level of the past expansion. So if you did the raiding with clan members bounty before Shadowkeep, and then you turn it in as soon as Shadowkeep drops, you're like, ching ching, turn it in, you're going to get something at 750 based off of past history. So here's what I would suggest you do with clan bounties. Pick one up the Tuesday night, or maybe Wednesday, before Shadowkeep. And then that way you can get 2 of those bounties done in the same week. Now you might be like, how does that work? All right, well, these bounties only last for a week. So if you get one of these clan bounties, like say the Tuesday or Wednesday before Shadowkeep comes out, make sure it's after whatever reset time would happen in your time zone if you do it on a Tuesday. Now all you gotta do is complete the raid once, and then you get the clan reward as well as the rewards for the raid, and then you can the next day grab another one for that same character, and in theory you'd be able to get 2 powerful rewards for raids in the same week. So that's what I'm suggesting you do with clan bounties. Now, getting as many bounties, especially 20 bounties done and waiting for them as you can, how that helps you out is one of the powerful rewards has always been turn in 20 bounties during a week and you get a powerful reward. So doing these as many bounties as you can, ideally 20, and then turning them all in should give you, off the bat, a wonderful reward. And it should make the campaign easier to complete if you're at a higher power, and it should help you to unlock the seasonal artifact faster. Because if you do these little tricks to help yourself get more power, is if the artifact is at all tied to power level, like you have to hit a certain power level before you can get the artifact, then doing these little tricks such as the saving your bounties should help you to get that a little bit sooner. And if you're going for a day 1 raid, which I'm sure a lot of people are with it being on a Saturday this year, then you got a much better shot at being able to compete in that raid because you have your artifact. So try and get 20 bounties. Next, clans. Get into a clan with clan bounties, rewards just from clanmates doing stuff. It would be pretty silly of you to not be in a clan. Even if you prefer to play on your own, you should try to get into a clan. Now, I got permission from my clan leadership to extend this invitation to you guys. If you play on PC and or Xbox, we prefer Xbox, but we do have a couple of PC people. But if you play on either of those 2 platforms, check out Double Down Boys. It's a clan that I am in. We are super duper active. We're trying to get to about 100 members. We seem to hover at the 80, 90 something range. And I just really enjoy them so far. However, this clan does have a couple of prerequisites for joining. And I just want to read those off to you guys here real quick. Now, keep in mind, everyone, most clans do have some sort of a prerequisite. It's not uncommon for clans to have requirements in order to join their clan. But you never know. You might be a really fun guy, they cut you an exception, or you find a clan that does like, we don't really care, we just want people in here to play with because we want to have fun. But anyways, here's the Double Down Boys prerequisites. Basically, they have some guidelines like don't be a jerk, be helpful and help each other out, and then use the correct channels in Discord. But the requirements, you have to be active within 4 months. So within the last 4 months, you need to have been playing regularly, not just like once every couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? Then you have a couple of options for how you can qualify besides being active. You can have a 1-0 KD, so like your kill death ratio in Crucible, and you would be accepted or at least strongly considered. Or you can have a raid accomplishment of either 1 flawless or 25 clears from year 1 and year 2 full raids. So you could have done 1 flawless raid since Destiny 2 first came out, or 25 raid clears in the last 2 years. Not a bad deal. But anyways, there's going to be some resources in the description down below. There's plenty of ways you can search for clans. One of them is run by Destiny. It's called Destiny Clan Finder. It's another one that Bungie does. There's stuff on the companion app. So guys, make sure you get into these clans because as clans do things like play Crucible together, clear raids together, do Nightfalls together, do Gambits together, you don't even have to be a part of it, and you'll get rewards. So make sure you get into a clan as soon as possible because there's usually a delay in when you get rewards by about a week. So if you wait for too long, you'll kind of really be screwing yourself. But hey, getting into a clan later is better than never. All right, let's look at real quick a couple of super changes because part of Shadowkeep and getting ready is knowing what character you want to have be your main character, and part of choosing your main character is to just know some of the super changes. I'm just going to give you some broad strokes. Lunafaction boots and the Rally Barricade are changing how the reload works. It's more like having a super duper awesome version of Outlaw instead of just continuous reload, which is why, if you remember from Izanagi's Burden, why snipers are expected to be really good, because they have faster reload speeds to begin with, and if the Lunafaction boots and rally barricades greatly increase reload speed, you might be able to be like pop, 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 ching, pop, 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 ching, and do stuff like that, and that can be really, really awesome. And then Izanagi's got the overcharge thing that does like 6 times the damage or something like that. So that's why Izanagi's Burden is really popular. But keep in mind, if you're a Warlock main, and you're like, I'm mostly a Warlock because I love Well of Radiance and not having to ever reload, well, that's going to be a little bit different. So you might want to consider a different character if that was your only draw to Warlocks. Same with Titans if that was your only draw, was the rally barricades. Now Hunters are getting an increase of damage to tethers, like more shared damage. Mobius Quiver, which is the 6-shot tether, is going to do more damage on impact, that kind of thing. So make sure you guys are checking out the internet to get more of the nitty-gritty details and see which character you're going with. Odds are I'll stick with my main Titan as my main and go with that. Now, why is it important to have a main? Because the strategies for leveling up usually all hinge around your main character. All right, so let's say if you're like, so for me, Titan's my main. This means that if, depending upon the strategy, I will either be only on my Titan for a while or playing on my Titan last. So here we go. Here's my kind of couple of ideas of what you could do. Not sure which one is going to be really that much better than the other, but if you do any of these, you're better off than not having a plan at all. So first idea, pick a primary character. So like my Titan, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to start on my Titan. I get to the max experience level. So like we're all level 50, or you could be level 50. So we're guessing that you're going to have more experience levels to go through before you can do anything with the artifact or the raid. So it might not be a bad idea to pick your main character, get max XP, and then you switch characters and you do that over and over again. Then once the 3 characters are done, then you would go through and do your weeklies and your dailies. That's probably what I am going to do. That's what I would like to do. That's my plan. And that's what I'm going to probably do. Now, here's another strategy. You could do a story on one character, like your least important character. Switch to your next preferred character, do the story. Then go to your main, do the story. And then you do the same thing, starting with your least favorite character with the weeklies and the dailies until you get down and you're on your main. That could be a very profitable strategy. That's what usually works. The thing that's throwing a wrench in all of this is that we haven't had a story to play through in a little while. So if things are locked behind the story, that could definitely be a way to go, just to get the story done and over with, and then you worry more about the powering up with the XP and the powerful rewards. But the upside of picking a primary character and then you gain the max XP is you don't have to worry about having, like, say, a 900 power weapon, but you can't use it until you're level, I don't know, I'm just making something up, like 70. See what I'm saying? These all have different trade-offs of what works well and what maybe wouldn't work as well with each of the ones. So you gotta kind of pick. I'm gonna go with the primary character, get max XP, and then switch and do that like that for all 3, and then do the weeklies and the dailies. But anyways, then another option is maybe you ignore the story. Maybe you just decide, hey, the story I don't have to do off the bat. Maybe I do all the weeklies and the dailies on each character, and then I do the story and do it backwards. Up to you. You guys let me know down below what strategy you're going to use, and if you have a different idea, please share it with the class. That'd be fantastic. And then finally, when you're leveling up, do the Dreaming City last. Oh my gosh. My raid team and I, we tried to compete in the world's first raid for Opulence, and we were like, hey, Dreaming Cities, how in the past was a great way to power up. And we wasted like 4 hours there with characters getting nowhere. And so I would suggest doing the Dreaming City last, because we found weekly and daily rewards were much more significant in power level increases than the Dreaming City. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope this video helped you guys out. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button. Feel free to share this video with your friends and to pass this around. From other videos I have seen, a lot of the information I'm giving you and ideas is a lot different than some of the other guys. So if you want to stay up to date with me, whether it's Borderlands or Destiny, please feel free to click the subscribe button. But anyways, guys, I am ChurchofCaboose. Have a great week and happy grinding, y'all.